Welcome guys to this FPL video where I'll be showing you my final squad before the Game Week 1 deadline. Now, I have two teams that I'm milling around, but there's only two changes between them, so I might show you those two changes just after this draft. Alright, now, getting into the first player, my goalkeepers. I used to have Raya. Raya is the goalkeeper that I did have. But I'm freeing up that 1 million and going for Henderson, and I'm investing that 1 million into my defense. So Raya is my set and forget keeper, and then to be honest, with your budget keeper, you can go for whoever you want, who's 4 million. Fabianski, none of them are going to start at all. So all of them are going to decrease your value in your team. So don't put too much thought into that. Now, getting into my first defender, obviously I have to go with Trent Alexander-Arnold, just because he's possibly the best defender there is, and for 7 million, it's a lot cheaper than what he was last year, which was 8 million. I do feel like he is probably under selected in people's teams. He's around the fourth most selected defender, which is an interesting thought. But definitely, guys, I feel like if there's one defender you need, it is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Getting into my next defender, we have Konza. I'm going for the Liverpool double up in defense. Konza. I really do believe in them getting a few clean sheets in their first opening run. If I can maximize my defenders in those teams that possibly are getting clean sheets, I really do believe that I can get a lot of points and do really well. Konza, the only problem is he's not nailed to start. But Liverpool in their last two preseason fixtures, they had their top team, which played a game 2 games ago, and Konza was in that team with Trent, Salah, all them. And then they had their second team, and Kanate was in that second team with Kelleher and the players like that who were in that second team. So I do believe he will start, but if he doesn't start, it will just if he doesn't play, it will auto sub. So I'm not too worried about that. Now, my next defender, my most recent player I brought in, Pedro Porro. Now, I'm not sure if I should upgrade Henderson to Raya and downgrade Pedro Porro to Robinson. To be honest, I'm totally not sure. But I really do believe in this Leicester fixture that he can get a clean sheet and maybe even an attacking return. We saw in preseason him get that amazing goal and playing really attacking. So I do believe that if you hop on Pedro Porro at the right time, then you'll get a lot of returns from him. Now, my last two defenders, they are budget defenders. But Barco, obviously, if you're going for a budget defender, you need Barco out of any of them because he's the only real budget defender on a decent team who's starting and he's very attacking on that left side. My last player who I'm never going to play, Harwood Bellis. I mean, you can pick and choose your 4 million defenders, but I just know that Harwood Bellis is going to start, and he's probably not going to decrease that much in price. Getting into my midfield. My first midfielder, to be honest, everyone has him, Saka. Now, I was thinking of, for the first 2 game weeks, going with Son, and then transferring Saka in after that when Son has those 2 tough fixtures. I just don't think I could go without Saka, and I feel like if Saka scores and Son blanks, which in the past I've had a lot of unlucky decisions like that, I can really lose a lot of rank that way. So I do feel like Son, especially with Solanke being brung in now, he's not going to score as much. He might get a few assists maybe, but he's playing on that left-hand side now with Solanke up top. And we only saw Son at his best last season when he was playing striker. My next midfielder. I'm not going with Salah, guys, but instead I'm going with Diogo Jota. I'm really, really happy with Jota, to be honest. I'm excited. I do feel like he can do a lot better than Salah. There is that risk factor, though, that Jota doesn't start, but he's pretty nailed for the first game. As I said, in that when you got to see the number one top 11 play, Jota was a striker there. So I wouldn't go for Darwin Nunez if you're thinking about that, because he doesn't look like he's going to start. My next defender, Gordon. To be honest, I don't have Nkuku and I don't have Eberechi Eze. So I can always downgrade Jota or Gordon down to one of those guys. I am thinking about downgrading Jota maybe in game week 3 or 4, down to Nkuku, just because I'm a massive Chelsea fan. Don't know how long I can go without a Chelsea asset in my squad. And also, Jota isn't looking nailed to start every game of the season. So maybe just I'll target these first few fixtures, then move on. My next defender, who I'm actually really excited to see this season, Emilio Smith-Rowe. Now, moving from Arsenal to Fulham, in pre-season he was playing very attacking. He got a lot of attacking returns in pre-season. And to be honest, I reckon he could score against Man United, but I will be benching him in my first bench spot though, just because it's his first Premier League game in Fulham. I want to let him settle in, and then the fixtures get nicer, then he'll be a set starter from then on. But for this fixture, I will be for game week 1, I will be having him on my bench. Then my last midfielder who will be starting, Morgan Rogers. Now, he's an interesting pick because I feel like if he scores, because he's kind of set to start in that left wing with Leon Bailey in that right wing, and the striker positions up between Ollie Watkins and some of those other guys. But if he scores and he gets a lot of attacking returns, right, he could boost you up in the rankings. But if he doesn't do anything, there's a few other guys who you could have invested money in, like Minte, players like that, you're probably missing out on. So I don't know, he's a bit of a risk, but not as much a risk as some other guys that people have in their team. Getting into striker. Now I've gone for a 3 at the front, so very premium strikers. Haaland, Isak, and Solanke. Now these are my top 5, my front 3. I'll explain why. So Haaland, it's either Haaland or Salah. I wouldn't recommend going without Haaland and Salah, just because it's a bit of a risky game. It's high risk, high reward, but even if you go without them and they blank, but you don't pick the right players instead, it's just all for nothing. But Haaland, he scoring against Chelsea, a hat-trick against Chelsea in pre-season, he's bursting them again, so I don't see why he can't put 1 or 2 past their net anyway. And then Isak, the most highly owned among the pros, he's the most highly owned player. He's going to look so good. Obviously, you could say with Gordon and Isak, you can maybe just go with one of them. If you're going with one of them, Isak's probably the right player to go with. And I could probably downgrade Gordon to either Nkunku or Eze. I'm not sure about that, though. And then we've got Solanke. And Solanke, I really did want Son in my squad, but when they signed Solanke, I really do feel like Solanke is the much better option for 2.5 million cheaper anyway. Now, why did I not go for Eze in my squad, and why am I probably not going to put him in until later in the season? Well, they're not 100% sure if he's going to stay at the club, for one. Second of all, Mateta isn't starting the first few games because he just came back from Olympics. So there's not as good options up front. So he's probably not going to get as many assists, maybe not even as many goals. Also, Elise left the club. So his main 2 players who he created for, and they created for him, have left the club. So he's probably going to have a big downfall, but it's not for me to say. You guys can judge for yourself. Let's see how much this team is rated though. 93 out of 100. Now, I'll show you the changes of my other squad. So where Pedro Porro is downgraded to Robinson, and then Henderson is upgraded to Raya. Alright guys, so here we are. Let's see what my draft that was yesterday is rated. 93 out of 100. So to be honest, there's not much of a difference. Robinson's fixtures get really nice. I just don't know if I can trust that Fulham defense to keep as many clean sheets as just per se Tottenham might keep. So I'm not sure, but Raya, it would be nice to just have a premium keeper who their team is known for clean sheets. Just set and forget. I probably won't get as many out of a Henderson, but we'll see. Now, guys, this is how I'm probably going to line up with, guys. Now, disclaimer, make sure, guys, you don't have one of your bad players in that first position. I made the mistake so many times. Always have your best player who's going to come on if anyone doesn't play there, because this is the position that auto subs. So if you have Harwood Bellis, Konza doesn't play, it auto subs there, and then you get no points because Harwood Bellis is trash. Like he's not trash as like a player, but his team is not going to get any points. So always have your best players. In terms of captain, now I actually haven't thought this through 100%, but I feel like Isak is the best option. Now I know a lot of people are going for Haaland, but I have such bad memories of captaining Haaland week on week and getting no returns, and then when I don't captain him, he scores a lot. So I'm just going to go with Isak, to be honest. I feel a lot safer with Isak, but the problem with captaining strikers is you need 3 goals or 2 goals and an assist to actually get any good points. So it's probably a bit better to go with a midfielder, but I'm not brave enough to go for Jota though. But guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'm out.